In this video, let's have a look at some crypto gaming coins. Let's also talk a bit about the metaverse as well, since we've had an epic pump on metaverse plays over this weekend off the back of the Meta announcement, a change of name for the Facebook group to Meta. This, of course, kickstarted that big flurry in the prices of many metaverse coins. So what did we learn from this? Well, we're seeing that major news catalysts right now are really pumping crypto prices. So if you can get on these trends early and establish what they can pump in the market, you can make a lot of good returns out of that. So it's definitely time to be sharp, ready, and waiting for the next news cycle for particular categories of cryptos to come. And this looks to be some of the easiest money to be made right now, just following those trends and trying to get on them very early on. So Facebook, Metaverse, maybe dystopian to the majority of people, but a few cool takes here. One on a more positive front here, first from Raoul Pal, who has ironically changed his profile picture here to a monkey holding a gun. Anyway, he says that, make no mistake, the Meta of Facebook with DM, which is going to be their cryptocurrency that backs all this up, and the Metaverse experience is a way to onboard billions of people into this world of distributed ledger technology, i.e. the blockchain. You might not like their model, you might be biased as to their actual model, but it's too early to tell. But it is going to be adoption. So this is what adoption looks like now, and whether we like this or not, it's coming for us. So our opinion on Facebook, on Meta, doesn't really matter, and it will obviously change depending on who you hang around with in your social circles. Those that do choose to actually go ahead and embrace Meta, well, this is going to be their choice, but many of us will not want to do this. And as he says, tough shit. It is what it is, and this is going to be the future. So the real takeaway from what he's saying here is that the metaverse is coming and coming quickly. This is a real 0 to 1 moment in the metaverse, because Facebook going ahead and changing their name to Meta is a historic thing. One of the biggest companies to exist in my lifetime, probably one of the most impactful for society during my lifetime as well, with Facebook and the advent of social media. Well, then changing to this augmented reality company living totally online in the metaverse is a real crazy moment. So this is something you need to really embrace and try and get your head around and think about 4, 5, 10 years down the line where we all might be with this. And thinking about the metaverse in general, it's probably wise to start allocating to some of these areas in the market. Of course, most things have just pumped like crazy over this weekend. There will be a bit of a retracement here, and I'm sure we'll get plenty of opportunity to enter into various projects. But the main thing is start doing the research and understanding what is coming, because this is going to be a major societal change that takes over pretty much everything. We're literally going to see people working full-time in the metaverse in probably the next 5-10 years. Then this was Yatsu, the Animoca brand's lead. Metaverse, formerly known as Facebook, today is to the metaverse what the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, i.e. North Korea, is to democracy. So he's saying this is not the metaverse, this is a dystopian view of it, and the real metaverse is going to be open, true digital ownership for those participants, and it will be governed by a majority interest, i.e. the users. And he goes on into this to cite that he wants people to be token holders of these new open world metaverses that will truly define what metaverse is, because essentially we know that Facebook will have a closed loop system with their own currency, DM, and there won't be the same freedoms on the likes of maybe you'll see on Sandbox or on Decentraland or others. But we can already see from this that there's going to be a bit of a split in the road here. You've got the pro-decentralization crypto natives who will want to use a metaverse created in the Web3 ethos, and then you've got the Facebook Meta side of things, which is going to have a metaverse in a very much closed loop system in all likelihood. So major pumps across metaverse coins here. A lot of like cross-pollination between metaverse coins and gaming coins here. The lines between the two are kind of thin in places. But what we saw was the likes of Decentraland going up 250% over the last 7 days. And this was actually as high as $4. At its peak, $4.11. And I do want to highlight one thing here, that when you go onto Twitter, for example, and you see that there's a very frothy environment right now for metaverse, you don't want to be buying while everyone's shilling everything that's going up 200%, because you're going to get wrecked. People who just bought at $4.11 are probably feeling rather sick seeing Decentraland back at $2.80 today. So if you truly want to own some Decentraland, some Mana tokens here, wait for the retrace. It will come, as inevitably these things all do come for any trending narrative in crypto. We just saw that with the dog coins. Quite a lot of those have retraced quite heavily since the last 4 or 5 days when they had their real burst out cycle. But in general, what we're seeing here is metaverse plays getting some serious attention. The narrative was set by Facebook with that huge announcement, and then you're seeing the flow of money throughout the crypto markets. Now, in terms of the actual metaverse, what you'll see from the Facebook or the Meta ad that they put together and that video stream that Mark Zuckerberg and others did was that their metaverse looks crazy real, whereas you'll jump into the likes of Decentraland and it's nowhere near the same quality as that of Meta. I do think for these things to really thrive and take off, we're going to be quite a bit of time away from this, but it's clear to see that already the writing is on the wall and that crypto games are where there's going to be huge mass adoption very quickly. I've previously shown some data on this channel, looking at Polygon and the Binance Smart Chain network and seeing some of the most used applications in the whole of crypto, and they're all games. Hundreds of thousands of users each and every day interacting with the games, which is orders of magnitude higher than the number of people interacting with, say, a DeFi protocol on the blockchain. So these games are getting serious network effects. I think there's a lot to be learned around tokenomics and how they create a lot of value for the token going forward. But we're seeing early signs here that the market cap of these games can be absolutely huge. Axie Infinity now up to $8.5 billion. And I think most of us 12 months back would have said there's no hope in hell that a game will reach such a huge market cap. But this is kind of flipping everything on its head. And now valuing token prices for games is a different skill all in itself, because these seem to surpass anything that you think is possible from that typical lens of looking at your typical fungible token. So looking through these gaming coins here, some of these actually haven't got working games as of yet. UFO, for example, doesn't have a game live, but yet it's got a $663 million market cap, whereas Illuvium here just released their gameplay trailer, now has around a $600 million market cap. And we have a few other top contenders to be A-star games like Star Atlas here, $264 million. But what you can see here is that hundreds of millions of dollars for unreleased games is no strange thing in this market sector. Plenty of them have got those kind of numbers behind them. And so looking for maybe cheaper alternatives lower down the market cap rankings is a good way to go, but also looking higher up and seeing which ones are establishing themselves as the premium plays here could be the next big thing. And I think Illuvium, which is the first one I want to mention here, is going to potentially be that 0 to 1 moment for crypto gaming into the wider gaming industry. And this could onboard gamers from around the world and potentially capture hundreds of thousands, if not millions of players to it. So this one actually broke $1,000 per token just this weekend, which is a crazy figure. Seeing as this seed round got in at $1, they're 1,000x up, which is insanity. And the price chart there looks like a stairway to heaven. But if we just pull up this, they released the gameplay trailer here, and you can see this for yourself. It's around 3 minutes long, and this got a real great response. A lot of people were super bullish on this prior to this being released, but since it has been released, and you can see the quality from this here, it looks like an animated movie that you're going to be able to participate with in this game. So if anything, this has actually boosted the stock price here. It wasn't a letdown by any stretch of the imagination, and this game is set to go live in Q1 of 2022. And just looking at it from my own perspective here, back when I was a kid and I was playing, say, FIFA or something, and your parents are telling you, you're wasting your life doing that, go outside, play some games, go and meet some people. Well, how could you tell your kid not to play this now? The graphics are ridiculous. They look better than most animated movies I've seen, and they have play to earn elements, meaning that if you get good at this game, you can literally earn a wage by playing it. And the better you get, the more money you'll be able to make as well. So this is really flipping everything you know on its head. A full in-game economy is being built here with Illuvium, and it just looks super exciting. So I think this one could potentially be that major game that sees us get that mass adoption. Of course, nothing's set in stone. You never know exactly what's going to happen in the future. Maybe it's Star Atlas that will come and steal the show, but Illuvium looks like a top contender there. And that is the stairway to heaven, the price chart here over on Binance. Just crazy, crazy stuff. And you can see from the staking tab here that so many of these tokens are already staked that there is a bit of a supply shortage already. And I'm sure most people have started to lock their tokens in. So when you actually go ahead and stake, which I covered on this channel, you can go ahead and actually stake for a 12-month period as a maximum. So you could like change the duration you want to stake for, and you'd get a multiplier on your rewards as a result. I staked mine for a whole 12 months. After looking through Twitter at Axie Infinity and seeing loads of people saying, damn, sold my Axies at $3 and cashed in a load of profit back then, because I think Axie was like 10 cents for the longest time. Now it's over $100, and people who were sold at like $2, $3, $4, $5, they thought they were making a good trade at that time, but they didn't see the network effect that could come for the game. So the market cap of Illuvium at $600 million, if it becomes the next best thing, the, Grand Theft Auto moment for this industry, then it wouldn't surprise me if it gets tens of billions in market cap, or even higher into the hundreds of billions. So there's a potential for this to go up by orders of magnitude, and the kind of sky is the limit. If the game is as good and it captures a big enough audience, the numbers just could blow everything you think out of the water. So that's why I locked mine up for 12 months. I'm happy to let those sit. Don't need to sell them. I just want to see exactly where this game goes, and it looks phenomenal. So that over $1,000 on the weekend, due to the gameplay trailer being released, but I expect more to come for Illuvium, and I'm sure they will be marketing hard into Q1. Now, the second project I've got here is Superfarm, a slightly lower market cap, roughly just under half of Illuvium. But the reason I've bought this, and I'm holding this, I've been holding it for months now, is the fact that Elio Trades is going to release something, and I believe it will be very special. He's hinted at it so many times. He's been building his community all for this one moment, I believe. So the fact you get an opportunity to buy Superfarm sub $1 here, when we look at the historic price chart, below $1 on that many occasions. We've got some dips here when the market was down, but since around mid-September, we've spent some time here under $1, and this was the accumulation range before we go a lot higher. I can't see this being a flop, and I can see this all-time high being blown out the water. Seeing as this was all momentum from him hyping it up from the pre-sale stuff, that IDO launch that everyone wanted to get into, that was all the way back in March. It hit $4 and change. But now we're actually moving into this tail end of the market where we see the most parabolic gains at the end, and he's going to release all of his features at once, which is going to be insane. They've already released their NFT collections, the Genesis collections here, which you can buy on OpenSea, and they've just got a lot in the pipeline here. They've already got an NFT launchpad. They've also done launchpads for normal tokens. Think back to Donkey Finance. So these kind of things are great for token utility as they lock up a load of tokens, because you need to hold tokens to interact with the launches. They've also got NFT generation coming and an NFT marketplace where you can trade NFTs. So I'm thinking he's going to bring out something to challenge the title of OpenSea, and the game is coming very soon called Imposters. On top of that, they've announced a partnership here with Sandbox and a load of other gaming metaverse plays as well. They also partnered with Illuvium on top of this. They released between him and Alex Becker, the Neo Tokyo identities, which are all going to form part of the Superfarm metaverse and have a role in the games that come from that. So there's just loads of cherries being dropped that this is going to be a huge liftoff moment for this project. On top of that, Superfarm thrilled to announce fully featured NFT launchpad on Immutable X. This means you can launch NFTs on an actual layer 2 technology that won't cost an arm and a leg to actually interact with. So NFT launches on Ethereum are all but dead at this moment in time, but Immutable X looks to be the leader in this sector out of all the L2 environments. So this deep collaboration aims to unite the world's best NFT projects with the Superfarm ecosystem. So if they're going to be starting dropping the best NFT projects, the newest and best games as well, and have a pretty much all-encompassing ecosystem for NFT gaming and metaverse, yeah, the sky is the limit for this. And in Elio's own words here, I've been here in the crypto gaming sector waiting for the world to come to me for 4 years. Now it's happening, and right as I'm on the verge of revealing my masterpiece, my true believers will soon bask in the sun. Eyes here from Lark Davis. Should I buy some super? Definitely yes, says someone. So my true believers will bask in the sun, i.e. this price chart is going to go off like a rocket when he starts unloading all of his announcements. So from high cap to mid cap to very low cap here, we have the NFT Champions token, another gaming and NFT play that I got involved with via the TrustSwap launchpad, and this one has been going very well. I mentioned this again on Friday that the chart looked like not your typical IDO chart, because typically they pump and then they dump, but this one looked super strong. Coming out of the IDO, yep, we went up a bit, we came back down, but we consolidated here, and this was on the 29th, so just 2 days ago, and I said that this looked like sellers had sold. The people who wanted to just dump all their tokens have pretty much got out of here, and there's a very low float for this token, and it's pretty much gone on a 3x from there. It's then taken a bit of a dive here, down to around 14 cents as someone started to sell off. And if we just look at the unloading down here, so let's just go through this here. You can see someone was unloading big, 25,000, 10,000, 15,000, 25,000, 45,000, and 66,000. So someone was eager to exit with a nice bit of gains there. Can't blame them. And so this person did manage to make the price tumble somewhat here. But again, it looks like we're recovering quite well here, back up to 16 cents. And as I mentioned, there's a low float on this. There's not that many coins in circulation. Let me just show you what it does first. So essentially, this looks a bit like kind of like Pokemon in the NFT gaming sector. Train up your NFTs, fight them against others, and then earn cash prizes in the champ token as a result. You can also wager your NFTs in 1v1 or 2v2 online matches. Seems pretty cool. This doesn't look like AAA quality to me at all, but what we've got to understand here is there's going to be different levels of this game. You've got your Illuviums that are AAA quality. They have like a 100-man studio making them. You have Superfarm, which we haven't seen what they're going to release as of yet. No gameplay trailers, but we expect the highest of quality from Elio as he's been so bullish on it. And then we have the lower standing stuff here. They've gone for more of the lower hanging fruit, but a simple, easy to launch game that could gather a load of users in a very short period of time. And it looks like Pokemon. People like Pokemon, so what more do you want to say there? So they're just going into this phase here, expansion phase, throughout the month of November, where they're going to have a release of NFTs on various marketplaces, and they're going to start their marketing campaign. Over on their Telegram, I looked at this and they said over the next 1 to 2 weeks, they're going to be smashing out the marketing. So potentially some more pumps coming for this token. And in terms of that low float here, as you can see, the initial circulating supply is 28 million tokens from the token information here. And then in terms of the vesting schedule, you will see that most of the team, advisors, etc. are locked up for 12 months and 3 months respectively. And so the only ones who've got their tokens so far have been private round and public round. But now they've had 20% and 10% respectively. There's a 2-month cliff here. So for the next 2 months, no one's getting any tokens. So what's on the market right now is pretty much all there is. So for my calculation, that means there's going to be 28 million tokens. So this market cap is still $4.5 million. And if you just scroll through the gaming coins here, that would put it down a very low ranking all the way down here somewhere. So just by this GG token at roughly 1600 position. And as you can see from CoinGecko, the ability to get up to say 10, 20, 50, $100 million in market cap doesn't take all that much. So those are 3 cryptos that I currently hold in the gaming, NFT, and possibly metaverse ecosystem. We'll wait to see exactly what rolls out from the Superfarm guys there, but this is definitely a sector of the market you want to have some allocation in due to the fact we're seeing in front of our eyes that the gains can be absolutely parabolic. So let me know down below which gaming and NFT coins you've got in your portfolio that I need to check out. Post them for me and I will have a little look and see what's what. As ever, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Goodbye.